But then if we pitched it, we pitched it down 10 semitones.
10.
10.
10. We're back. I'm Matt. This is Connor. I'm a composer and sound designer. I co-own Zelig. Connor's creative lead here. And yeah, we took way longer than we were expecting to do another behind the scenes video, but we're back with some actual mics. And yeah, today we thought it'd be a cool idea to break down quite an old project.
Like 2 or 3 years old, I think, at this point.
Yeah. It's way more because it's pre-COVID.
Oh yeah, it will be.
I always go, COVID is like the marker, I guess.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, pre-June. Say 3 or 4 years ago. That we did with Bipolar, a studio out in LA with our friends Gevorg and David. But it's just a really interesting project for Porsche Taycan. A lot of interesting sound design. Let's get into it, I guess. Just dive right in. One of the things that I remember when we started this is, I don't know why, but for some reason, when we were talking about it, there's a lot of lightning and electricity sounds, more electricity sounds, and electricity forming and moving. And for some reason, we'd set ourselves the task of not using any library electricity type sounds, anything kind of sparky or thundery,
or even thundery,
or buzzy. We wanted to do it all with synths, I guess, just because it would make it sound more interesting, and just setting that kind of limitation would make you solve it in a bit more of an interesting way, I guess. And it was kind of an interesting concept to try and lean into. So we'll look at some of that stuff, and then just some interesting sound design. Let's just listen through the first section. Are they buffalo? Bison? I have no idea.
Cows.
Let's go through track by track and listen to stuff. Some nice sweeteners.
Yeah, just rumble, and I guess setting the atmosphere a bit with some environmental stuff, some wind, some low end rumble, whooshes.
Nice.
That's really nice. Instead of just having a super obvious, thing for the forked lightning in the background, something that's just a bit more.
Is that the only thing that's playing in that first scene?
Pretty much, until that kind of
little
synth
shimmery thing, isn't there?
Yeah.
Nice. I guess there is still there's some really high frequency stuff with the windy stuff, and then super low and nothing in between.
Yeah,
which is kind of interesting.
Start to get a bit more crazy as we hit this cut here, and we're a massive fan of these. Soundmorph libraries, cinematic. It's in a lot of our projects here.
Yeah, they're kind of really just nice low-end tools, aren't they? To sweeten things.
Just to punctuate shots as well, it's just landing right on that cut to give it a bit more punch.
Oh, of context, it sounds totally whack.
Yeah.
In context. But it's the first time we hear a buffalo. There's some low lion-y type stuff. Gunshots. That's cannon, I bet, isn't it? Yeah, that's a cannon.
And then
I was a big fan of the cannon stuff for. If you just play the cannon.
Oh yeah.
Because they has such a cool slap to the source recording.
It kind of has a lightning or like a lightning crack effect, or a thunder, like a thunderclap thing going on.
But yeah, wherever the environment is, it has a bit of a slap to the sound. But if you stick it in a layer of any mix, it just adds a massive what's the word I'm looking for? Attack to the sound, basically.
Yeah.
It just
it's a super satisfying transient.
Yeah, but even again on its own, it doesn't make sense. But with those subs, it's a really nice thwack. And we got a bunch of that low frequency.
Lots of
rumbly stuff.
earth. like shifting rocks and that sort of thing. And
Yeah, because nothing's actually moving on the screen.
No, but it's, I guess,
imperceptibly moving, but we're giving it the idea that there's a lot of energy.
Yeah,
I
and
guess
there's,
just with the textures.
like the energy of the stampede that's happening, even though everything's kind of frozen in time and we're moving around. These animals, they're like wildebeest or something. You just want to give that idea of how much energy and how much force there is with all these animals moving, More rocky stuff.
That's nice.
Yeah, some nice like deep rumbling stuff. And then we have also here some water. Just as the
little ASMR thing happened to me.
Yeah. Just as those water drops are kind of moving on the right there, past the camera, we just want to give them a bit of detail as well, especially here, this one on the left.
It's nice. And again, it's too much. Out of context, it's too much. But in context, it works really well in the mix.
Yeah, with everything there.
The water feels heavy-handed out of context, but it needs to be to cut through the mix. Because I guess I was talking to Josie about this the other day, and it's like, I know people in the past has asked us like, who mixes our stuff, or when do you mix it, or who masters it.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's mixing in as the arrangement, or as even it's music, or if it's a sound edit. Like, you can see just by in this second scene, and we'll probably see going forward, like this really defined low sub stuff, really defined bass stuff, and then really defined high frequency stuff, and you just balance by layering or balance by textures.
Yeah.
So you're mixing as you go, but like the mix is basically doing the sound edit,
doing the work,
doing the sound design.
Yeah, it's about sample choice, right? It's about like Matt said, like balancing those, like the Canon has a lot of crazy mids going on and some high end, and then those low end thumps from the cinematics libraries and the high end from the water. They kind of do the mix. They do the work for you.
Because when you're throwing this stuff in, I'm not like throwing in a rumble and thinking, oh, this needs to be 3 dB higher or lower. I'm thinking, no, this is missing low. Let's see what I can add in as a texture. Oh, this is missing some high frequency. Let's see what I can add in to really make it tingle or really emphasize something on the screen. That's
to give you the feeling of the stampede or whatever you're trying to achieve in that shot in particular.
That's the first time we hear the hint of the synth lightning.
Yeah, and real quick, this is another nice trick to just like reversed Canon, or the Canon sample from before. I think we've just reversed it, and that's got a real nasty, like distorted kind of tearing texture to it. Yeah,
it's the little altar boys. Oh, it's not being driven. Oh, but that's kind of cool.
But it's pitched all the way down,
But it's kind of because of the pitch down, it's breaking it up too, which is kind of adding modulation to the texture, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then also an unknown, maybe it's unknown, I don't know, but Little Altar Boy, even if it's on no settings, it messes with the stereo image a tiny bit. Like it's like
when you're not like the mix is on full, but you're not changing the format or the pitch.
It's still like has a little bit of processing going on.
So this is it without Little Altar Boy, so nothing at all. So it's still a really nice kind of slick texture and a nice rising effect. But then if we pitched it, we pitched it down 10 semitones.
10.
10.
10. Play it again. Sorry, I talked over it with Altar Boy.
Yeah, with.
It's just a bit more gnarly, isn't it?
Yeah,
a bit more,
it is.
And also, again, talking about mixing, adding that to it helps it cut through the mix a bit more.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the thought process. Like, we add it in, it's not quite doing what you want it to do in the mix. How do we do that?
With sample choice
or with effect choice. So it needed to cut through the mix. How'd you do it? You did start it a little bit more, maybe pitch it down a little bit so it sits where you want it to be.
Yeah. So let's take a look at this lightning as well, because this is, like Matt said, this is the kind of first time it shows itself.
I love the reverb, the the reverb being caught by the decapitator.
Yeah.
The devil lock, the compression. It's so nice.
Yeah. So let's look, like, if we open up Omnisphere here, it's probably a fairly simple patch.
I think it's the. Oh, I thought it was the CS, but it's like a a Moog thing.
So this is with nothing. So it's still pretty nice.
Yeah. It's quite mono actually.
Yeah. And then close that. So cut out some lows.
I think cut out lows because if you don't and you've got that much reverb.
Yeah, it gets a bit wild. It's like too crazy. Yeah. So we put in one reverb here with vintage verb, which is like pretty much on every channel in these sessions.
This is it's an in joke, but this is the default.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a joke, and now it's like, oh, actually, we just do open up the plugin and leave it.
And don't you use the default, but you just switch the color?
Yeah, so I have now, and I think I have less of a pre-delay because I don't really like pre-delay on the reverb, but that's just me.
And I rationally hate it when I open it and it's white. I just can't deal with it.
Not into it.
I don't know why.
It's too sterile.
I think if it sounded exactly the same when I just saw it was white, I'd still probably not.
You'd still be like, oh, we got to change this. Yeah. So with some reverb, there's already some more like dimension in there.
Oh, it's widened it a bit. Yeah. Give it a bit of.
Then we have shimmer. Which gives it a little bit like high-end sizzle. And it's just
more like the tails of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Adds tails to the existing reverb, adds a bit of tail to the synth.
And this is probably what's doing a whole lot here, is thermal. Heaps of distortion, I think. Yeah.
It's already starting to pump the reverb, but not that much. It's not too bad, the thermal. I thought it was going to be a lot more.
But I think that then we have this, the final layer, which is actually not doing a lot of, the crush and cruncher on one. But I think this thing is, man, it's so easy to overdo.
If you just open it on one, it's still a lot of the time too much.
Yeah,
you
it's
have
real
to balance
crazy.
it with the mix.
Yeah. So that's with that last one on.
It's subtly different, isn't it? But it's nice. I think it just adds a lot of. I hate to say it makes it sound more organic, but it makes it feel a bit more human and a bit more lively. I guess that's like just all of those little things.
Yeah, that's super squeezed as well, which is really satisfying, I guess, to listen to. And then in the mix, here it is.
This is where we get into the fun stuff. I really like the little rhythmic things as well of the sub.
This stuff, yeah. There's little tapping, yeah. That's cool. And there's another one here, which is pretty much the same channel strip, I think.
Yeah, but this is the CS60, CS18.
This is a different synth. Oh no, still the Moog.
Damn it. Let it play out when it does that.
Yeah.
You play it one more time, I just enjoy the tail. There's a bum note in there as well.
Yeah, I think we're probably just like just someone farting around on the keyboard and, like a few octaves here and there, but it gives that really nice, like, I don't know, it feels quite unstable, this one,
I think it's actually just synced to that, isn't it?
Oh, like every time it forks.
Yeah, I think I probably played it in and then just moved it.
Let's have a look.
Yeah. I mean, you can barely tell, but yeah, it's the effect.
Cool. So this next scene. Ooh.
What's going on there?
This is some, I think, is this the C? Oh, this is like an ARP of Omnisphere. Oh. Nope, same Moog. Ooh, that's super satisfying as well. That's again just like a super squeezed kind of sounding.
No reverb on that one though.
No, this is just thermal.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Play that one. I love the stereo, like channel delay stereo thing.
Like the sides.
It's really nice. Yeah.
Lovely.
Doesn't sound dry. I mean, there's probably a reverb in Omnisphere.
I was going to say,
but
or
it's
thermal.
Nice. Yeah.
And then we've just got down here some nice. Again, this is the cinematic stuff from Soundmorph. Super quiet. Forgot to turn that one up. Oh, and this shot here too. We've got a bunch of impacts, and I think this is kind of
so messy.
This is kind of what Matt was talking about when he was saying, like, I was syncing to these forks here in the lightning, and we've also gone through and kind of laid a bunch of impacts so that every time it forks, there's a bit of a shift and like a little punch of energy, you know. And on its sound, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds a bit crazy, but then in the mix, super satisfying. And then underneath here, I just saw as well.
This stuff is almost not there. That stuff, the Taycan stuff.
Yeah.
Because you don't hear it in the mix. I don't think you hear this one.
I think you hear the choppiness though if I play it. Yeah, it's like a riser, and so we got sent a recording of the Taycan, you know, like accelerating, and we've just kind of gone through and chopped that up just to give it a bit more motion. For each of those forks. And then,
all sounds whack on its own.
Yeah.
Even I don't know if we were re-looking at this now. I don't think I would do the same thing with these.
With these,
they seem a little bit too dry in the mix.
Yeah.
Maybe just because I got headphones on as well.
Yeah.
Though, but
they do stick out
really
quite a bit.
Borderline.
Yeah.
But it still kind of sounds cool.
Yeah. Cool. So let's carry on.
So this whole sequence is kind of interesting because if you go back to where so it's like a lot in the film up to now is like the first scene, relatively quiet, really defined frequencies in textures, like the high stuff and the low stuff in the first scene, creates a bit of a suspense. The second scene, we slam in with all the hits, and we kind of do that seesawing back and forth up until this point, where it's when the synths come in a lot, it constantly ramps up until we get to in a few scenes time. So this whole section is just ramping, which is kind of nice.
I love whatever's doing that, like.
I play to the end of, so we get to the quiet bit. Yeah, the really fast rhythmic arp thing is very
Omnisphere.
cool.
So this one. Woo.
But that's like that. I can't remember if we talked about this before, but that was when it like it made sense trying to do this out of synths, because as soon as that idea was like, this
patch, you mean?
Yeah, this is how we now execute this idea.
Yeah.
Because it feels like and like a metaphor for electricity, and the speed of it and the energy of it, but it's still like not like a traditional electricity sound.
It's not too zappy or sparky,
and it feels like nice and interesting to listen to, but it's still like borderline music. Like it's really, and it feels so nice when it comes in, and it's the kind of thing that like when it comes in, it makes total sense, but you wouldn't necessarily think that's going to happen, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. And some other layers here.
Ooh.
Like kind of like spooky riser type stuff.
Bendy metal.
Yeah.
What is doing the app thing? Is it just an app?
Yeah, it is. It's inside.
No, it's not even an app. It's just an envelope thing.
Yeah, and then we've got a bit of thermal on it, which I wonder how much that's actually doing. Yeah, a bit of crunch into the high end, which is kind of nice. A few more layers down here. Whoa. That's super weird. Almost kind of disappears in the mix.
It's like play it in the mix, sorry, in situ. You do hear it.
Yeah.
It's like a hint to something that happens later. Actually, is that kind of electronical interference? Like when you hold your phone near a speaker, it's like it's a hint to like something other off-screen kind of thing going on, which is kind of nice.
And then we had some crowd stuff too. Awesome. Nice. Yeah, just like some chattering kind of people, which is a nice kind of effect for this shot, and just something you wouldn't really expect for, for this kind of like, I don't know what you call it. It's almost like not flames, but how electricity kind of moves through a surface like wood or that sort of thing. It gives it a nice kind of high-end detail.
Again, it kind of hints at the communication thing again as well, doesn't it? It sounds absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
But in the mix, play it again in the mix, sorry. You don't even, in the mix, almost don't register it as voices. It feels like a type of energy or a chatter.
It's the high end of that shot, right? It's doing all the super fine detail on the top end.
But that's what's, again, going back to what we were saying about the arrangement and obviously it makes sense from a musical point of view. Well, maybe it doesn't all the time, but like if the shot needed more high end, so what would we do? Figure out conceptually the crowd stuff works anyway, but then also it has an added bonus that it makes the mix balance really in an interesting, nice way. Or adds some like air to the sides or air to the top end. I can't believe there's not snow and leaves in this shot, but it must be the next one.
Yeah.
So satisfying. But this again, it's the thing we mentioned about that tension and release, or energy and release, and the contrast. We've built up and up and up to this point, and then we just suck everything out. Yeah. But still, actually keep quite a lot of detail in there. But it's all switched to the high frequencies. And what I really love about this shot, if you play it again, super nice high frequency stuff, really airy. We add a little bass, and then we add more low end, like windy bass with the whooshes.
Yeah.
So it's like a little 3-part, nice sequence, which is really nice.
I think the main component, I guess, is for me the snow and leaves, which is giving that really nice ASMR-y type. I don't know what it is. It's kind of almost like noise, really,
Yeah. As always, we were saying like a bit with the synths, it's a bit like a white noise oscillator or pink noise oscillator.
Yeah.
Like adds something.
Yeah.
Because it's not even edited.
No.
To the scene, like it doesn't change perspective.
No. It's just a layer, right? It's you're right. It's just like a layer of noise.
Like play it again now in situ. Like I don't notice that it's not edited. It doesn't change volume, but it does because your perspective, you're pushed and pulled by the other things that are coming in. Yeah. And maybe they're pushed limited as well, actually. So,
but we also not really synced super hard to anything in this shot, really.
Until we get to the whooshes.
Yeah, until these here. But like all the bass and stuff is kind of just a bit drony, like this layer here, I think. More high end as well.
To that. It's kind of hinting at everything passing over, isn't it?
Yeah, like a wave of energy.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's really nice.
That's like kind of like Snow and Leaves, but like a modular synthy type.
Yeah, or like almost like a. It kind of makes me think of like Penderecki,
Oh yeah.
Or like Johnny Greenwood's kind of. Yeah. Then some low end, I think. Nope.
Glassy.
More drony omnisphere.
Is that glassy stuff is hinting at like the lens effects and.
Oh yeah, this layer here. Yeah,
the makes things sound clean and
like
precise.
Pure.
Yeah.
And then that throbbing kind of bass. That's super nice. Again, it's just more omnisphere. I wouldn't be surprised if it's that same Moog or. Where are we?
Path of least resistance.
Yeah. Just duplicate all.
Oh, no,
it's the Wibbly pad.
So Jupiter. Wibbly.
And then some really, really nice. This is a really lovely touch, I think. The two CS80 chords.
Yeah, and this is like the first time we hear like an actual harmony in the whole piece.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not just single notes.
Yeah, not just a drone.
Yeah, and it's in the quietest part of the piece too, which is again just looking at like there's a different concepts going on, but the push and pull concept, the contrast is in actual loudness, contrast in textures, and then a contrast in harmony. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So simple, but they're super pretty. Like
it's really lovely, eh?
And
then a few whooshes here. Yeah, so that's really the only hard sync in this whole sequence. It's just a few of those waves that rush past the camera. And then we kind of drop right back into it, really.
Yeah, so go from the start of this quiet section and then we'll play through the next bit. Yeah. Might have
So we have like at the end of that section, there's a really nice, just like a moment of breath. Nothing really happening apart from like the tail of the synth.
There's some
some thumpy stuff. They kind of act as a riser into, the chaos.
Is it the synth doing the thumps? That's kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah, it might be, yeah. Yeah, it totally is.
Oh, cool.
Nice. So that's that Moog again. Nice, yeah.
A real nice distance to it as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of perspective, right? Because we're super far away at that point.
And it's just doing it with velocity as well.
Yeah.
The patch is the same.
If I play it now. That's just me pressing harder or softer.
That's nice.
Yeah. And more of that quite harsh electric sounding synth as we drop back in to the shot of the Stampede again.
This, from here on to the end, this is the payoff basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've kind of been toing and froing, pushing and pulling, and then we're like, okay,
settle into something.
We're in.
Yeah. So we got a bunch,
and we're going.
Yeah. So here's a bunch of these sound design layers, a lot of kind of rocks and moving earth, as like the same stuff as the beginning really for the Stampede. Really super crunchy and like you could feel the earth kind of moving underneath you. That says lightning, but ignore that.
What's it actually doing? Damn
it.
You can barely hear that in the mix.
Yeah, let's just mute that one.
The rhythmic synth's back.
Yeah. So this has been printed actually.
I think because it's annoying as hell to keep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because when we're working on these stuff, we're kind of going back to shot, and we want to be able to hear kind of what point the synth is at when we're at each one of these shots. And if we keep doing it, the MIDI, if I started here, the MIDI here isn't going to trigger.
Ableton doesn't do that.
So it'll just play.
Yeah.
And it'll account for like all the filter and
I don't know how accurate it is, but it figures it out. Yeah.
Oh, it'll just start. It'll like
doesn't care if there's no.
Okay.
Notes. Yeah.
You might be able to do that in Logic too. I'm not sure.
Hopefully not, because that'd be embarrassing. Like a mod wheel.
Yeah. Super dirty as well. It's a bit nasty on that tail. You can kind of hear the distortion hanging over. It's really nice.
Mm.
Is that a callback to Encounter?
Maybe.
Because that's what I feel when
really?
When I was like, oh, we're doing like this is the Porsche thing,
It worked, I guess. So.
Yeah. I want to know what is that?
The animal sound.
That's not you. Like, where is it?
Bison.
Bison? That's got to be it. Oh yeah, that is a bison.
Is it? Do they have those in New Zealand?
They don't. No, this is just
an
a
American
creepy patch. But I guess it makes sense, right? It's kind of like a call or something. Something's kind of
Something dying.
Yeah, something's screaming
Something's
out.
scared.
Something's getting barbecued.
Where are we up to?
So we've got that.
Here with the dying bison.
Oh yeah, and then we have a nice kind of repeat of that cannon thing from at the start of the film. Which
Whoa,
that sounds
even more crispy.
Yeah, that is hectic. That's kind of giving that electricity vibe too. You know, like something's tearing through the air, or
Yeah, good point actually. Yeah.
yeah. And then
Some creature stuff.
yeah, some actual buffalo stuff.
Authentic.
Yeah.
There's a lion. Sneaking in there.
And then a bunch of there's like a
I
sub.
feel like for any slow motion animal, you can add a slightly slowed down, pitched down lion, and it'll work.
Yeah, it just makes things sound grunty, right? Or a bit
Snarly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's here? That's just all that, like, there's snow and leaves again.
It's a nice
all these-
missile there too. Like.
Yeah, like a reversed or something here. Oh, weird. But the snow and leaves is just, if you see, like, you can see particles or it's probably rain kind of moving through the air, and that's what we want to pick up with the snow and leaves stuff. Just the feeling like you're there, you know, behind this vulture, and things are flying through the air, you know.
I think it's funny that the snow and leaves is labelled in caps. Like
Why?
it's shouting at you.
Oh.
But it's the quietest.
Like,
sound.
use me. What's this, like pixie dust?
There's a nice something's reversed again there. I think
Yeah.
it's the pixie dust that's reversed.
No, it is too.
It's taking a bit
Yeah.
of a tension or rise thing.
Yeah, because it's
into-
another riser. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And then we kind of stripped out everything for that shot there, it sounds like, even though, you know, we could put snow and leaves on there again. Built up to it.
We're actually hearing actually that different synth now.
Oh yeah,
It's
the
a
wobbly,
different rhythm.
the wibbly pad kind of comes
playing
back.
like an octave above.
Yeah.
Seems.
Where are we? This kind of stuff here. Some low end too. Nice big bassy riser.
I love this shot. Yeah.
This one, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the crowd comes back over the shot here too.
Kind of calls back to a couple of things, doesn't it?
Sorry?
It like calls back to a couple of things.
Yeah, yeah. Where is it? What's this stuff here? So again, it sounds a bit silly on its own, but with everything else, that's what's giving the like tingling kind of texture at the top of the frequency range.
It's like buzzy in like a human way, and like again hinting at all those things, like hinting at technology, communication, just stuff happening,
Energy
and, like,
moving through
vibrancy.
space.
Yeah. So, like, what is this electricity? Like, there's a what is it carrying? Like, this kind of interesting dimension to it. Like, literally another dimension to it. Like.
Yeah. A very abrupt ending to the synth there.
That's like the encounter one as well, I think.
Yeah, it just cuts off. But there's just some really nice kind of rain texture here. Some tire noise. And then, I guess all the weight is coming from the car sound itself, you know, it's that here. Yeah. A bit dirty.
Nice.
It's a wicked sounding car, man. They sound crazy in real life too. Like,
What's this? Oh, there's some weight from. Oh, there's like
yeah.
punctuation things.
Yeah. That's something we do a lot too. Is just using.
It's a car.
Yeah. Using these big thumps and kind of sub drops just to punctuate shots as well, to give them a bit more. I guess just to make the cut more obvious and have a bit more punch, you know.
It literally makes it sound more weighted.
Yeah. Yeah. That's doing the weight too for the shot, you know, like the energy of that car. You can kind of feel it in that synth, kind of pulsing along. It's
interesting because it doesn't. When you play everything without the synth, it doesn't. You'd feel that you would maybe put more weight in for the car on the road, on the gravel, but in the mix it sounds totally fine.
This is without the synth.
Probably too much if it was there. With the synth.
Yeah, it could be a bit too much. This is without the synth. It's still kind of weighty, but I think most of it for me is that initial cut. That's where that boom is. That's the big sub hit there.
Well, your brain kind of fills it in. You're in
yeah, with the synth.
It's so funny, like the like how our brains make the leap with the sound edits. Because in real life, this should be not like the loudest, windiest thing ever.
Yeah.
Just be like constantly, even if just with your ears. But like the illusion of dirt and rain and wind, but still sounds quite clean and audible. And
we want the car and
like
that synth to be the
storytelling,
focus, I guess. You know, like and not.
It's not realism. It's like perceived real,
like hyper realism, or
like cultural film realism.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's it really, isn't it? Is there anything else interesting to say about this project? I think it was lightning fast. I mean, pardon the pun, how fast we'd actually did it, because the session was an absolute mess.
Yeah, I had to do a wee bit of cleaning before we started recording here.
And yeah, that's kind of it. I feel like it still holds up. It's quite old.
Yeah.
Like, say, 4 years old, 3-4 years old. I think it still holds up.
I think for sure it's still that concept of not using the sparky, zappy electricity sounds. We've carried on to other projects too, when we've done some idents and that sort of stuff that were sort of similar with crazy.
The My 5
5 action, I think.
5 action, yeah.
So we did some.
Maybe we should drop a 5 action one in now.
Yeah.
And it's the similar, is it? Did you say it's the same synth as well?
I just opened up the project and imported those Omnisphere synths into when I was doing that, and it worked. It worked so well. You know, I might have put even more distortion on them, but
right.
You know, it's a nice thing for us to carry forward into other projects. Is that's kind of how we start to approach electricity sound design, as opposed to just having zappy, sparky stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
Well, that's it for this one. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we're going to be doing some more. I think we're maybe going to record another one today, so that will come out at some point.
Yeah.
As always, it's super interesting to see your comments on YouTube and Instagram. We've got a lot more interesting projects coming up.
If you have any projects you'd like to, I guess, see broken down like this, please just leave a comment and just let us know. Or just any questions at all for us, like chuck them in the comments, and we at some point might do like a Q&A kind of session as well.
There's more. There's not just us two on the team. There's 8, nearly 9 of us now, and we're open to do more stuff. We did a talk. We've done 2 talks already this year. We're doing another one in November, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe another one before that too. So keep your eyes out and your ears out. And thanks so much for watching. Catch you soon.